Then for Britain's John L. Gardner from Hackney, the European champion, first fight in America, and in fact manages to land the first punch against unbeaten Mike Dokes, ranked 3 or 4 in the world, depending on which ones we listen to, and unbeaten. And Gardner, for those who follow his form, very seldom comes out and wins the first round. He soaks it up a bit, tries to win wars of attrition, but he's going to have one with this fella. He's a bit useful, but he hasn't scored, surprisingly enough, only 10 knockouts in 21 fights. But Mike Dokes not larking about at the start. Came in, tossed some bouquet of roses to some fans at the ringside, which is his gimmick. And, well, they hardly knew Gardner when they got in the ring. He got a few cheers, and a few cheers, obviously, away from home. 14 stone, 12 and a half Gardner, 15 stone, 5 Dokes. I think the Hackney Rock has really got to show his durability with this fellow, because he's a good boxer. I've seen him win a few in America. Not the greatest of punchers, but at that weight they all count. Well, he's shaken any pre-fight nerves out, I would think, although Gardner doesn't seem to suffer too much from that. A bit of banter at the way-in that he certainly didn't lose. He got a quick Cockney retort, Dokes, when he was a bit salty. He's certainly easily picking Gardner off. Remember, Gardner was beaten in one round at Wembley by Ebar Arrington, the sailor from Seattle. Last 30 seconds then of the opening round. Gardner soaked up a bit, they're always willing to have a go. And there's a bit of blood around Dokes' left eye. So there you are, first blood for the Briton in this case. See how slow he gets there, Gardner, comes up from a crouch and gets away with it, scores a punch. But he's setting himself with the right hand, Dokes. There it is. Did it well, too. And made that. That was the punch. The left hook did more damage. So round 2, and Gardner's manager saying to him there, well, that was a better round than I'd hoped for in the first, because he knows that John L's a notoriously bad starter. He needs to get warmed up and piling in, but he did then. He got off very quickly. That's because he's been training in America and really getting worked up for this fight. And important thing for Gardner is to be able to slip a punch or two. He's trying to do that now with that duck and weave stuff. Dokes can bring the punches up, that's the trouble, and if Gardner's caught square, he's in trouble. Dokes certainly improved since his amateur days, winning the Golden Gloves. I saw that one. But I think this crowd are taking to Gardner the way he wants to fight back. They're cheering Dokes' punches. I'll tell you, Dokes might be surprised when Gardner's going to stay in there with him if he can in this fight, because he does come on strong at the finish, halfway through the second round, and with 10 rounds then it's 8 and a bit to go. So Gardner trying to match his man with a left-hand jab. He learned that, I suppose, at the Polytechnic Club in London, where he boxed as amateur. Referee Tom Briscoe from the Michigan State Commission appointed. Well, Gardner doesn't mind eating up those left hands, provided he can get through with his own. Really, Dokes' hair flopping about there as though he's hiding a head guard under there.
There's a bit of reaching for him. As soon as he finishes, just step up with 2 jabs. Step up and 2 jabs. Start pushing him a little bit, all right? Okay.
Well, he may have heard that, then they start pushing him a little bit, and he's right. He already knows he's got a tough fight. So into round 3 then of the scheduled 10 rounds heavyweight fight, where John L. Gardner, the European champion, is trying to make his name in America and get into the world top 10 rankings. And this is the number 3 or 4, Michael Dokes from Akron, Ohio. And it's been a good opening 2 rounds. Dokes favours that left jab, and Gardner trying to match him. With European opposition, Gardner frequently piles in, bulldozes, wears them down. But Dokes has been in with too many good fighters to stand for that. There's good punches there. He works those shots to the body very well, Mike Dokes. Seems as though they've been able to staunch the cut around Dokes' left eye quite easily. It couldn't have been a serious one. Oh, and a couple of low punches went in there. It caught Gardner on the thigh. But they really don't bother about those little sidelines of the rules here in tough Detroit. Well, it seems to me Dokes now realises he's in for at least a hard fight. He came in a bit flashy, thought he was going to knock this Englishman over. Into the last minutes of the 3rd. The trouble is he does too well with that left hand, Dokes. He makes that count, and it looks painful too. There it is again. Up a bit too much in that little exchange there, Gardner. He just couldn't duck low enough and get his way in quickly enough. And really waiting for that left-hand lead of Gardner. Slipping it, throwing the right-hand counter. He's really on top in this round, Dokes, isn't he? So there you go then. Mike Dokes seemed very satisfied with himself. Start of the 4th round. And he had to ship some punches in the 3rd there, Gardner. And finding it very hard to get in close to Dokes. But I must say he gave him a good share in the first 2 rounds. He didn't win the rounds, Gardner, but he certainly gave him some resistance. Fights for the European champion, they know they're chance fights. They've got to go in there and try and get in the rankings, but what a consolation, he's getting the dollar equivalent of £75,000. By far his biggest payday. Gardner having that much trouble. Not sure whether he's got to outbox his man or fight him. I think really he's probably better off getting there and getting stuck in, because Dokes is better at long range. Really grabbed the centre of the ring there, Dokes, and shooting that left hand out. And an uppercut. Oh, stumbled under that one there. He didn't know where they were coming from, Gardner. In the fourth round, he really is in trouble. Oh, the right hand really landed in. They're all coming in, roll over. And that final punch, that was almost the execution. The fight was, in fact, over. Gardner couldn't cope with that dynamite that was thrown at him. This is a man that they said is not that big a puncher. Well, you could have fooled me. And poor Gardner knows the difference as well. 1 minute I made that in 50 seconds of the fourth. And the referee should have dived in perhaps 3 or 4 punches earlier, with Gardner prone on the canvas there and definitely in trouble. But no, there he is. They pulled him up. That's good to see that. And there it is in replay now. This wind up by Dokes. The left hook to the almost inside of the glove. Then the right hand missed him, and that left hook bounced off his head. His legs are in trouble at that stage. They look harder than they are in slow motion. That right hand, that one, that's a dangerous punch. Right on the point of the jaw, he's trying to fight back very bravely, Gardner, pitching away, and really no need to take this punch, but he has to do it. This is where the referee should have been in, but by then it was far too late. The referee's miles away at this point. And there's the one. Now, he doesn't know where it is there. That's all over, but somehow sheer guts kept him up, and it really is as one-sided as a tidal wave there as he crashes to the canvas. Well, he thinks it's all very enjoyable, and you can understand that. He's the winner, and they're still attending to John L. Gardner in the other corner. There he is, leading disconsolately on the ropes there, wondering what happened. He really had a go in those opening rounds. He's never short of guts, Gardner. Credit for that. But really and truly, he got beaten by a good craftsman.
The winner by a knockout and still undefeated.
This brutal formality of a result.
Dokes is the knockout winner.